All right, we're going live tonight, Friday night, 17th of July. Hope everyone's doing well. I've just clicked the go live button. So obviously there's about a 10-second delay from what I'm seeing right now. I haven't seen any messages come up just yet, but I know we're live. The countdown has already elapsed. Says we've been live for 25 something seconds. Oh, there we go. The first messages are coming through now. G'day, Zach Tool. How's it going? Guys, if you're in the chat now, let me know if you guys can hear me. I'm not actually doing a sound check, so this could be interesting, whether you guys hear me or not. All right, here we go. Whoa, just a bunch of messages just popped through right now. So who else have we got in the house tonight? We've got Daniel Boy, we've got Midi, we've got Elias. So g'day guys, welcome to the stream. Hope you guys have a good night. At least over here, we're gonna try having a good night talking about fishing. Let's see, let's keep going down the list. By the way, where are you guys all from? Like just general location. I think most people here would be from Sydney, I would say. But it'd be interesting to know if we have any international people or people from, other states. And yeah, guys, let me know. What do you guys think about this setup so far? It should sound a lot better than the last live stream, which wasn't bad. Just got upgraded my sound, my microphone system. So it should be coming in clear. All right, here we go. Let's keep going down the messages. We've also got lure fishing from the Gold Coast. Well, so we got some people from Queensland here. Annalise Wilkinson. G'day, how's it going? She says, hey Shroom, what are the best topwater lures for brim, trevally, flathead, mangrove jacks? Love the vids. Thank you very much. That would probably be the first question that I'll answer tonight. So I'll put that up, but I'll continue going through the list and see who's here first. I think there's going to be quite a few people coming in tonight. We generally get quite a few viewers. So it's always usually a good night. Daniel Boy, okay, yeah, I think I've already said hi to him. Army Rain, I think that's a new face, so g'day mate, how's it going? Yes, guys, if you're new here, I'm Shroom, subscribe to the channel. Just gonna give myself a quick plug. I'm also on Instagram, starting to use TikTok as well. I'm on Facebook if that's your thing, and guys, if you want to support me, just keep watching the videos. You can also become a club member. So YouTube has that join button. You guys would have seen that before. Every time you watch one of my videos, not compulsory, of course. Just letting you guys know that that's enabled on my channel. Also, you can show support with a super chat if that's your thing as well. All right, Ray AS says going fishing tonight. Well, yeah, I envy you. So I'm just gonna be online tonight. Maybe over the weekend I might pop out. It's been pretty windy lately, but I think last night it kind of wasn't as windy as it was supposed to be, and I dare say tonight it's probably going to drop off too. So I know over the weekend the wind is a lot lower, and that's probably been the main issue beside from the rain earlier this week. Okay, so here we go. All right, so I got to catch up with some of the messages. Peter Wilson, g'day mate, how's it going? He says can hear. So all right, that's good. So that's great. So that's what I'm trying to do. Trying to upgrade my sound system, trying to get it set right so that it's not clipping. But today I was in a rush to get online, so I didn't do any checks. Elias, okay, yeah. See, he says, "How's the fishing been in winter?" It's been pretty good. The videos have been coming out well. Let's keep going. Kevin Sampson says audio is good. Yeah, that's great. Well, Ollie Fishing, hey, how's it going? Novo, hi Novo. I saw your message. But it disappeared off one of my videos. I don't know why. Something must have happened there. Zach Tool says Sydney. All right, here we go. Here's the question I asked earlier, asking about where people are from. So this is going to be interesting. It's probably going to be a landslide. Sydney 99-1. So we got Sydney. Zach's from Sydney. Ray's from Sydney. Oh, here we go. Annalise is from Coffs Harbour. All right. So we've got someone from someplace different. Army Rains from Penrith, Sydney. Yeah, there's some good bass fishing spots out that way. Kid Fisher's also from Sydney. Midi's from Sydney. Ray says going to Kissing Point Wharf tonight. Might be busy. I would say Friday night fishing wharves are generally busy, but the fishing can be really good. Yeah, I reckon that's a good place to be right now. In fact, Daniel Boys from Sydney, Merseyside, Livia, it's lad. What's that one? Yeah, I thought that might have been Pig Laden. Trying to figure that one out. Novo says, "What do you use?" Okay, all right. Let's go back to the first question. So it seems like we've gone through all the preliminaries. So Annalise says, "Hey Shroom, what are the best top water lures for brim, trevally, flathead, and mangrove jacks? Love the vids. Keep it up." Mangrove jacks, let's rule that one out. I haven't caught a mangrove jack before. Can't offer you any advice there. Trevally, I haven't caught trevally off top water. Haven't really targeted them. But for flathead, I think any of the longer style poppers that brim like, flathead generally like too. So let's go through some of them. So I generally like using some of the higher quality, more affordable lures such as atomics. So in the atomic range, they've got, what is it? They've got like the scum dog. I think that might be a bit small though. So I generally use scum dog for brim and get flatted by catch. I've been lucky that I haven't been snipped off though. Generally, when they take it, it's all over. One bite, there goes that hard body. I've been very lucky. I haven't, touch wood, I haven't lost any of these hard bodies to airborne flathead, but I have seen them go ballistic over some of these hard bodies. What else? What's a really popular one? I think the Mega Bass. I think it's called the Mega Bass Dog X. I think that's quite a popular one. There's some of the I think some people in Queensland, they like to use some of those crystal prawn lures as well. I believe that they've got a bib, but they're also pretty much a surface lure as well. I've done one session with Terry where we tried to target flathead for about half an hour, and we used, I think it was Rapalas, like really shallow Rapalas, and the flathead were like launching themselves out of the water. This was in the hacking. But personally for me, I get a few of the flathead on, just the atomic scum dogs. And what else have I got at the moment? So yeah, the I think they're called the canine poppers or something. Yeah, so generally I just like to use those kinds of lures on surface. I can't really think of any more right now. I've got probably if I've been given a couple of minutes to look through my gear, I'd know exactly how to answer this best. But yeah, hopefully that sets you in the right direction. Annalise, thanks for that question. All right, let's get back to the chat. So guys, let's keep going. So where are we up to? So here we go. Some familiar faces. Vaz 1984 says, "Hey Shroom, how come no usual daytime videos lately? Keep it up." Yeah, I have some daytime videos, but I'm trying to space them out a little bit. I've been doing mostly nighttime fishing. So nighttime fishing, because of that, this world health situation, it's just been easier for me to just get out at night when there's fewer people around, and just kind of keep distance to everyone else. So that's the reason why I've been basically just producing these night videos. But I think it's a challenge in itself making these night videos, because it doesn't quite show up very well on the videos. So I do a bit of blurring to get rid of the LED flicker, and I think that's affecting the quality of the videos. But I think it's still good at this stage. I gotta just deal with the equipment that I've got, so I think it's okay. But yeah, I'm definitely going to be looking towards producing more of these daytime videos coming up as well, yeah. But I do have a few, but mostly they're night videos at this stage, just because of the situation that we're in. All right, here we go. So let's keep going down. Merseyside, Livia. So what's the biggest fish you've caught? I guess sharks probably the biggest like actual thing from the sea. In terms of actual fish, I think the longest fish that I've caught would probably be the 95 centimeter queenfish, or the mulloway that I use for my profile picture. So they're probably the biggest fish right now. I think, yeah, off the top of my head, that they'll be the two fish. Destroy Boy, how's it going? Says, "G'day Shroom." Yeah, good to have you, mate. Good to have you here. Michael Jermaine, I think I pronounced your name wrong last time. So it's from Carlingford. Okay, right. How's it going? Welcome, George Notsis. Says what are some good kingfish lures? I guess it depends on the gear that you're using. Kingfish aren't that fussy. You can get them in on all kinds of lure types. So let's just say let's just say that you're out there actually trying to target them. I'd say using 5 to 7 inch plastics such as sluggos, and early in the day using poppers, large poppers, rooster poppers, or maybe walkers. I don't think colors really matter. You're basically just using a natural color or a blue color or a white color, silver color. I don't think it matters all that much. James Klein says, haha, I hear Mangrove Jack, you're reminding me of Nambucca River. I think I hooked one, or a large GT that strained the TT lures eyelets. I was left with a loop and a knot. Yeah, okay, so you're left with a loop and a knot. So hang on. So you're straight. Yeah, well, yeah, they pull pretty hard. I was basically just thinking, did you just get busted off? Usually when the leader starts to become a bit loopy at the end, it curls around. It means that it just popped under immense pressure. Infamous FPV says, Sup Shroom, have you seen the new Daiwa soft plastic range, and what are your thoughts? I haven't looked too closely at it. I did see a few ads just real briefly. I'm probably wait for them to come out first before I make my judgment on them. I'm sure they'll be good. Yeah, pretty excited to hear about new plastics ranges anytime, of course. Just more options for us all. Smile something, I think that's how you say that name. Says, let's go fishing. Yeah, I love to fish with everyone. Midi, can you try Cooks River fishing soon if possible? Yes, we could do that. Sam G says, hey Shroom, how's it going? Michael Jermaine says, perfect pronouncing there, but oh yeah, great, excellent. Got some lessons over the last month. No, I'm joking. Just I just started reading a bit slower. All right, flip flop. Maria Pop Queen. Yeah, the Maria, those Japanese Maria lures are great. I haven't tried all that. I haven't tried for Kings using surface like proper, like done it properly all that many times. I've got a few walkers, large walkers. I think they're from Duo. I've been using them. I know there is one, what's it called? There's a pretty popular Maria lure that people use as well. Some kind of stick bait. Michael says Thursday night shroom and footy and Friday night shroom and footy. Yeah, that's right. I thought I'd come online tonight, guys, because I've been putting it off. I think it's been about a month now. I've been hoping that I'd be on more often than once a month. So that's why I came on tonight. Because it's been a bit too long. Kind of miss you guys. All right, Ali Kaya says, hey Shroom, love your vids. Keep it up. Thanks, mate. Edward says, can you eat some cat food? All right, Daniel Boy, good vibes. Keegan says, where are you? I'm just at home. This is just a green screen behind me, just to make it look a little bit more interesting. But this image behind me is a photo taken at Weeper up at the Cape of Australia when I went on that trip there. Love the trip, brings back good memories. This is the top deck of one of the houseboats, and I'm actually in the background behind my head there somewhere talking to Joel or Terry or a few others that are in my videos sometimes, just tying knots and rigging up for the next day's fishing. Good times. Brings back good memories. That's why I like using this image. All right, here we go. Let's keep going. So Kevin Sampson asks, are boats in the future, or do you find the convenience of land-based too good? Possibly a boat in the future, but there aren't any plans at this stage. I love my land-based fishing, as you guys can see. I'd find fun out of any spot, really, local or far. Generally, a lot of the local areas that people overlook, I'm there, trying to see if I can pull a fish out of that spot. So, plenty of options there. It's a challenge, fishing land-based, and on a boat, of course. Just completely different things. I think it's good to I think it's good to enjoy all kinds of fishing and to be open to any kind of idea and method or style. It just means that you can enjoy one particular sport in more ways than one, in all facets of it. Um, so yes, I guess like spin fishing, lure fishing, bait fishing, fly fishing, handline fishing, trolling, it just everything. Just you really can learn to enjoy the sport. Uh, if you try a few different things. So I think I really like boat fishing, but no plans currently for a boat or a kayak. Sam G says, "What's the go for para, river, brim at the moment, lure wise?" I think at the moment, well, I didn't get a brim in the last video, so I can't really say. But I guess a month back it was going off. So a month back the brim were really going off. So they were starting to head downriver, getting ready for spawn. It's hard to say exactly what they're doing right now. Some places seem to produce fish all year round, and some places, I'd say upper river spots right now, you'd be hard pressed to catch brim. That would be down in the slightly deeper waters at the mouths of bays and down the river. I guess with a little bit of brain, the water might be a little bit muddier than usual, so start leaning towards like slower sinking grub style lures. That would be what I would be thinking of right now, what I would be using. Maybe start transitioning to blades if reaching the holes and reaching the deeper water spots and the pontoons and the moorings where boats are off land become a problem, if distance becomes a problem. But yeah, that'd be what I'd be thinking of right now. Rachel Mantella says, "Hey Shroom, what do you think of bait casters compared to egg beaters? Love the vids, keep up the good work." I like bait casters because they offer something different and they feel very I don't know, I feel like I'm in for a treat every time I use one. So I've got a couple of bait casters, both Daiwa Steezers, the SV and the what's it called? The metal one, the aluminium body one. The name I've just forgotten right now. So not the latest version, not the latest model, but the one model back. I've got one of each of them ones. And yeah, I really find that they're really, they have their niche casting heavy lures in close. Like, I guess in Sydney it doesn't matter all that much if you just chase bass and, brim and all that. I did try to get like a really light BC outfit for that, but I haven't given it a go yet. I've got the rods. I've got like a Silver Wolf 1 to 3 kilogram. I think it is 1 to 3 kilogram bait BC rod that goes with the Steez SV that I was gonna actually do a bait casting video for brim, in the salt, because that's what you do in Sydney, because you can't always go chase bass or cod. I guess like cod would be the main targets there. I really like it. I really like it. Something different, something unique, special, different that you don't see too much in Sydney. But when I went up to Weipa, when I first started using them very, very often up on that trip, I was using it daily basically. I'd say I improved so much just casting accuracy, having stiff rods up in close in structure that you can't get with an egg beater. So yeah, they have their place, definitely. But there's one thing that they don't quite have compared to the egg beaters, and that is the sound of the drag peeling off. Nothing beats a sound peeling off an Exist or a Stella or something. That's what it's called now. It's called the Steez A. That's the other one I've got, the metal bodied one. That one does have a drag, like a drag ratchet. It makes a drag noise, but not quite the same. Not quite the same as maybe a Stratic CI4 or a Luvius peeling 50 meters a line, by a fish. Okay, let's keep going. Flip-flop thoughts on the Veritas rod. I think they're good value for money. Abu make, pretty decent rods. They're very hardy rods. I think they're very robust. They're hard to break. And I think some of the rods are very good value for money. Kidfish Show, catch and cooks. Well, I can catch. I don't know about cooking. One day we might do a catch and cook. I have been thinking about a catch and cook, but I won't say too much about it yet. But one day you'll definitely see some catch and cooks. I don't know how many of these catch and cooks I'll be doing, but maybe if somebody actually no, I don't want to ruin too many surprises on the channel. But yeah, maybe a video coming up in the summer. Keegan Reamer, do you want to go fishing soon? Well, that's almost a rhetorical question. I think everyone's answer in the chat is yes. We all want to go fishing. We want to be fishing right now. Edward says, "Can you go fishing at La Part land base, please?" Yeah, maybe I'll do a squid video there in the future. Mary side, Livia, what's your most favorite lure? Well, I think I think that is almost a rhetorical question, given the kinds of fish that I've been pulling, at least in the past month or two. My favorite lure is the Z-Man Slim Swims in either the bloodworm or the watermelon red color. That's my most favorite lure. The most versatile plastic, has the best action, has the most durability, is the right size, right shape, has the most action. If I haven't said that already, I probably did, because I feel like I've just gone on repeat there. What else? Hard to rig though, but given given everything, that's my favorite. Daniel Boy says, "Is the port hacking good for squid in the winter?" I think the port hacking is good for squid 25 hours a day, 367 days a year. It's always good. The port hacking is the best system for squid in Sydney by far. Land base, off a boat. Like, I don't want to say that if you can't catch a squid out of the hacking, you're doing something wrong, but definitely squid and hacking are like terms that go together. Those words just go together. All right, infamous FPV. Who are your favorite Aussie YouTubers? That's a tough question. Fishing YouTubers, do you mean? Yeah, I guess so. Fishing YouTubers. I really like watching the Morning Tide fishing team. So I think some of their videos, especially on the Morning Tide channel, I've probably watched them at the minimum like 10 to 20 times over. And these videos, some of these adventure videos go on for hours, so, or at least go on for an hour, and then there's like 3-4 parts of it that makes up 3 to 4 hours of watching. I've watched them through, some of them 10 to 20 times, so that'd probably have to be my favorite on numbers alone and watch time alone. Okay, Z, how's it going? Z Fitness here. Hey brother, how are you? I'm good, mate. Just spending the night here with you guys. Hope you guys bring your questions. All right, now, yeah, let's keep going. But before I do, subscribe to the channel, guys, if you're enjoying the show. I'm Shroom. Follow me on Insta, follow me on Facebook, follow me on TikTok. If you want to support me in other ways, there's Super Chat on my channel. There's also memberships. All right, so let's keep going with the questions. Mary Sue, where are you fishing now? This is just, I get this question every time I do a live stream. Maybe I should change it. But this is just an image behind me, but it's a green screen that allows me to do so. So I'm actually obviously nowhere near where this picture suggests that I may be. But if you talk about the picture, this is a picture of the houseboat up at Weipa when I did the trip several years ago. The videos on my channel is my channel trailer, basically. So if you want to check that out. Z Fitness says, hope all is well. How is Brim? All right, so it just said browser's lost connection to the mic. I think I'm back right now. I'm just checking on my other screen here. How's it? Well, so we've got some messages. Maybe I should do something. Okay, I'll do something about that some other time. Okay, now let's get back on track, guys. I'll be back on track in a second. Where's my chat? All right, so I'm just checking. So audio, yeah, everyone's saying audio is back again. All right, so I've got some spam here. Let me just do something about this. All right, here we go. Whoa, geez, chat's flying. What's going on here? All right, guys, apologize for the spam. Let's just, all right, there we go. There goes the hammer. All right, now let me pass the hammer to someone. Because I did pass the hammer to some people last time. All right, there we go. Let's why won't it let me do that? Okay, that's no good. All right. Why is it not letting me do that? Okay, I'll try somebody else. No, it's not letting me do that. That's no good. All right. Oh, yeah, here we go. Here we go. Let me try from here, this screen. Guys, bear with me. Technical difficulties. Got a massive wind knot in the line. Just trying to untangle it. Trying to untangle this massive wind knot. All right, here we go. Okay. All right. So we got someone on the job now. Okay, back on schedule, back on track. Okay, so I was halfway through reading Z Fitness's comment. So yeah, as I was saying, the best, absolute best brim season I've ever had. I've never caught that many 40s. I've not even broken 40. I've caught so many. Well, I've caught more than a handful of 40s up until this year. And this year was the only year that I finally broke it. And it was a whopper when I broke it at 47.5 centimeters. Videos on the channel, I think it was last month. So very recent. It was in the winter. During the time when they're, getting ready to spawn, they're feeding up hard. I got it on, you guys could guess, Z-Man Slim Swims in the Bloodworm. Normally, I'm using the watermelon red color. Bloodworm did it for me this time. So apparently, I forgot what kind of worms. I got told by, I think it was George Fisher, regular on the channel. He said that at this stage, along the sand flats, you'll see all these, I forgot the name of those worms, but they were basically brown and they had a bit of red in them, and that was a perfect mimic for that kind of food source with the Z-Man Slim Swims in that particular color. So yeah, I guess I got lucky there though with that size. That was crazy. I didn't even think it was that big when it was coming up. I was thinking, oh yeah, here we go, nice brim, 35 centimeters. Here we go. And then when it actually hit the surface of the water, I was like, all right, that's 40. That's 40. No big deal. I'm still calm. Then when I started dragging along the side, I was like, no, this is actually, wait, this could break my PB. Here we go. This could break my PB. When I went to grab it, my hand was so far apart. My fingers were so far apart that instantly that signal shot up my hand through to my brain and said, you fool, this is like the biggest brim you ever got to catch. And I knew straight away when I gripped it. And in the video, you can see how excited I was. The second it registered that it was that big, because that night it's hard to judge. I make bad calls when it comes to sizes. I always underestimate. In the videos, I say, oh yeah, that's 30. And then when you put a tape, it's like 38 or something. It's just ridiculous. So yeah, that fish makes this the best season of brim fishing I've ever had. All right, let's keep going before I just keep spouting on and on about that like a broken record. Vaz 1984 says, if you can only fish 4 months of the year, which months would you choose and what would you be targeting? All right, so I would scratch next month, September, because, I guess September's usually good. So August is definitely out. August, traditionally, the worst month for me, except for, I have caught Jews in July and August and September. There's only 1 month that I haven't caught them in, and that's December. I don't know why. I just have never caught them in December. Every other month I've caught them on lures, on plastics, but not December. But in terms of like which month I would scrap July. August. July, I would say I would scrap too, but at this stage, I'm okay with that. I might reconsider that. So, number one, let's kick off August. First of all, it's cold as. For some reason, the fishing's pretty poor for some reason. Really bad fishing generally. September, I would say, is generally not much better. The weather starts to get warm, but the water is extremely cold. I have had a few great sessions, but they've been hit and miss. But I don't really want to scratch September. But if I got to scratch 4 months, that's a third of a year. So maybe I'll have to scratch. No. All right. So let's just without thinking too much about this and move on to the next question. Let's take out August, September, December, and January. I guess January is too hot, but no, actually. Yeah, I guess so. I have to take up months out of somewhere. So the other months are more pleasant, I guess, except for, I guess, June, July. That's pretty cold, but the fishing's generally good. Less people around. Um, there's a mullet run. There's still kings in the winter, even though people believe that there aren't. Yeah. Let's stick with those 4 months. Okay, next question. Daniel Boy, and when is the best season for squid? I actually haven't fished it in the best season. Generally, I like late autumn. I didn't fish for squid this late autumn or early winter though. So, but in general, I'd say late autumn. I think I've only had one session for squid in the winter so far, and that was chasing arrow squid, so that doesn't count. But okay, I guess since that you guys are here on the live stream, sometimes I do leak some of the videos that might be coming up. I did do another collab with AKA Mike's Fishing, chasing some arrow squid. That video is coming up at some stage, so I think that's a pretty fun video. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled out for that one. Flip flop. What do you do for work? Okay, so I'm just going to leave it at fishing questions for the moment. One day you guys will find out. Edward says, how old are you? I'm 34. I don't look it, but I look pretty young. Okay, next question now. I've just lost where I am. Now, what's all this? Let me just get that. Now, let me know if I accidentally banned anyone, but anytime I just see about 50 messages, I'm just going to get rid of them for the moment. Okay, now... here we go. Sorry, guys. I've just lost track of where I was. Oh, here we go. Brian Williams. What's the biggest flatty you've caught and how was the fight? The biggest one I've caught, the longest one was 92 centimeters off an 80 millimeter squidgy fish in the silver fox color. Silver fox being the one that is a mullet imitation. I caught that on a 2,500 Stella. I think it was the FI version with an NRX 6 to 12 pound, 7'1". The fight was amazing. I caught it land-based in a deep hole from the Georges River, daytime, chasing Jews. I thought it was a Jew. I cast in close to the bank along the side, got hammered, and I can't remember what happened initially, but I just remember that the fight dragged on for ages. When they're that big, there's so much weight, and with a bit of current, if that fish turns and wants to run, you just gotta let it run. It didn't do it like a 50-meter run when I first hooked up. It didn't do that, but I can't remember exactly what it did. I just knew it was big, heavy. 5-10 minutes into the fight, still fighting it. Another 5 minutes, still fighting it, seeing that it's a flathead, trying to figure out, how best to land it. Leader's only 14 pound. The fish is massive. It's got all this weight, and that one wrong move, and you're gonna be on the ground clutching your head in basically in tears, knowing how big that fish was. So that was my memory of the fight. Isaac Hanna, can you tell us where you're? Okay, so you ask me every single day on in my messages. So unfortunately, it's my policy. I don't name spots. If you know where they are, that's good. I don't mind if people talk about the spots in the videos. It's just I don't want to personally name the spot and bring in. So every video that I post up, good. If it does well or if it doesn't, at least 1,000 people watch it. So we don't want 1,000 people turning up at somebody else's spot. And there's also other issues. Friends might take you to spots, but if you keep telling every person where that spot is, then they're not going to want to fish with you. So I think the best thing to do is to just not name the spot, which is why I can't specifically name it, like right here, for example. I appreciate that you're very motivated, very interested in your fishing, and I appreciate all the messages that you've been sending me personally through Instagram as well. Okay, Mary Sue. Hey Shroom, have you ever tried shrooms while fishing? No, actually, I've never tried. Infamous FPV Z-Man should sponsor your giving them free props. Well, it doesn't matter. I do this, You know, I make fishing videos. I've made other videos besides fishing before I did fishing videos. I did it because I just like editing and making videos. I like sitting there watching back over what I've done in the past. It's the best capsule of a particular memory that fades over time. But if you can, you know, give it justice of something that's significant to you in your life and make a video out of it, and then watch it in years to come, you know, that's what motivated me. But yeah, I guess I do push Z-Man Lures quite a bit. But yeah, if they want to sponsor me or, you know, help the channel out or whatever, they can do so. But you know, I'm happy just doing what I'm doing right now. Mary Sue, when I went to North Sydney the other day and caught myself very small fishes. Fish, very small fish. What's the best time and weather to fish? I mean, for that spot or in general, best time in general is early hours of the morning or late in the afternoon. And throughout the night, it's better than fishing during like the, you know, the highest points where the sun is at during the daylight hours. Weather, I guess it's a balancing act. The more pleasant the weather, the harder it is to fish, or to catch fish, I'd say. The less pleasant, the harder it is to work out lures and to enjoy the session. But more likely, the fish are on the move and less spooky and on the hunt. James Klein, just rewatched all the Morning Tide videos, fourth day over. There are some of those series I mentioned earlier in this stream. There are some of those series that I've watched over 10 to 20 times in full. Yeah, some videos, I'd say some individual videos I've probably watched over 50 times. They've got the editing on point, the fishing's on point, the emotion that it invokes just watching their videos. Now I'm pushing their videos, so that's fine. They make great videos, guys. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Their music as well. So Briggsy, like I've seen on the DIY, I've seen the DIY videos that Briggsy puts out on how he makes his videos, including the music production, just using just a few things inside his house and just arranging it so that he gets a studio to record music. It's unbelievable. That guy is one talented man. All right. Okay, so I've just seen a bunch of spam here. Hopefully someone's removed it. Okay, so let's keep going down. Someone says go do the dishes. All right, so Kid Fisher, Shroom, please moderate out. Okay, so all right, give me 1 second here. Let me just go find it. I did put a moderator. Well, I tried to give 2 people a moderator status, but it didn't come out. I think only 1 person. All right, boom. All right, so long, Razor. Okay, he'll probably be back though on another account. Okay, let's keep going. Sam G says, do you stream COD? I've never played Call of Duty. All right, here we go. So audio gone. Okay, so I'm back here. All right, spam's lagging my stream. Audio gone. All right, so I think that's all fixed up. Yeah, guys, let me know what you think about the sound tonight. It should be very good. I'm using pretty decent audio equipment here, but you know, it's not just about the equipment, it's how you use it. So maybe my settings are a bit wrong and it's coming out all chopped up, or what is it called when you don't have enough headroom? Clipping, that's right. Unless it's clipping and sounding horrible. But if it's sounding smooth, then that's the way it should sound. All right. Yes. Now, as I find where I am in the chat, guys, if you're new here, I'm Shroom. Subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Insta. Let's get those numbers up. I really should post more on Insta. Follow me on TikTok. Follow me on Facebook. What else have I got here? Yeah. So if you want to support me in other ways, obviously watch my videos. Keep watching them. Every little bit helps. Like this video as well, of course. I don't think I've said that today. You can also support me through Super Chat. That's enabled on my channel. And also the membership function. Now, I haven't got any members yet. Maybe I don't have enough incentives on the membership program, so I might have to rethink that. So, guys, if you got any ideas, maybe I could sweeten the deal or do something about it. I think it's a good feature. I think it's a good feature because you get a little bit more from this than you would from Patreon, and the fact that YouTube enabled on my channel, I'm not going to say, I'm not going to say no to that. It just means, there's just more features on the channel. It can only be better having emoticons and emojis and whatever else that's inbuilt into the platform. And of course, you guys get, a channel icon as well when you post, and your messages get bumped up, and you get, if I put up any particular member only community posts, you guys get that exclusively as well. There's a lot of benefits with the YouTube membership program, in fact. But yeah, that's not compulsory, guys. Just letting you know it's out there. Okay, here we go. So here we go. All right. So so the spam is getting flamed here. Okay, yeah, Kid Future said they're called bloodworms. They are the most common. They are at most sand flats. The most common on sand flats. Yeah, so my English just went out the window there reading that sentence. Sorry about that. Destroy Boy says, can I be? Well, yes, I probably would. I'll probably do that at the end of this stream. Liam, Paul, Sarah, have you fished in Middle Cove, Sydney? I don't think so. I can't quite picture where that is right now. Razor, another question. Do you like to? Okay, all right. So, all right. Razor's dealt with, guys. He's out of here. He's out the back. We tossed him out the back of the houseboat. There's sharks out there at night. We generally chase sharks, so he's shark bait now. So I usually like to use carcasses from the night's dinner. Like long-tail tuna, queenfish carcasses, rainbow trout carcasses. What else did we eat up there? Barramundi, plenty of barramundi. So many fish. So Razor could join that too. All right, let's keep going down. That was a bad joke. So here we go. Let's keep going down. All right. So yeah, go. Jeez, these guys are these kids. There must be kids. Razor's a kid. All right. Here we go. James Klein. He's a reputable fellow content creator, so I can read his message. Shroom, would you be keen to target longtails in Middle Harbour when they come in? I'll be keen to target longtails whenever they come in. I am still heartbroken from my time up at Weeper. I had the biggest longtail on. Okay, it wasn't massive, but to me, that was a big fish. That was probably over a meter longtail, biggest fish of the trip for everyone. There were big schools busting up in front of our faces. It's hard to imagine. I mean, all right, so I've been offshore one time, but I haven't seen like bluefin or yellowfin, 20 to 100 kilogram busting up on the surface. But right then and there, longtails were doing that. And they were in the class of about probably 90 centimeters to, I don't know, a meter, say a meter 10, around that size. Very tantalizing, unbelievable. I hooked one within 2 seconds, got it to the boat. Then the fight was on. The way that it happened, guys, this is a good story. This is something that I'll never forget. I had a Catalina with my Saltiga rod, and for some reason, with the braid, okay, now this is probably going to tell you that I don't particularly favor this braid. With a J braid that I had on, I had J braid, I think 50 pound or 30 pounds, something pretty strong. Every single time we we basically flew through the bays. We flew right up to these schools and had one person standing right on top in front and just launching that massive lure or metal. I think I was using a metal at the time. Every single time that happened, there was my turn to do that, I'd get the biggest snap. Something would snap. My FG knot would go, or I'll get a tangle along the guides. Something will go wrong. Lure flies away. School goes back down underwater. I lose my chance. Now, because that was happening, checked over my gear, got everything set. All my friends knew what was happening with my gear. So the second it happened, the next time when I went up, Joel passes me his rod. Straight away, he knew what had happened. The second he heard that snap, even before Lou hit the water, I already had his rod in my hand and I had cast. He had just landed a 92 centimeter longtail like the run before. So less than 5 minutes ago, He was able to launch his lure, hooked up, landed that 92, got the photo, this and that. I think we kept that. We were eating fish that trip, so we kept that for dinner. Fed 10 blokes, good feed. And like I said, the carcass goes out the back of the boat for sharks at night, for people that want to, stretch their arms out a little bit more if they didn't get enough action during the day. And I cast, hooked up. Now, I think Joel at that time also, he switched over to, so the school was still busting up at this stage. So it was busting up for a good, say, 20 to 30 seconds. And we got there early. And I hooked up. Joel, he had a bait cast, we were doing some creek fishing. He cast his bait caster in. And, that's a bad idea. I think he had a more than bait caster rod or something like that. Hooked onto a long tail. Instantly, he just thumbed it so that he could snap off the fish, because I was onto the fish, and, they were trying to help me land that fish. And he would have got spooled. There was no way you're going to land with just about 100 yards of braid on a bait cast. And then pumped the fish in within the first 5-10 seconds. It was right at the boat. It was about a meter fish. You could see it on its side. Then it dove deep, and then it just kept running, and I couldn't stop it. I wanted to tighten the drag, but then I was with Joel and I was with James, and Joel had just landed a longtail 92 on that with that drag. And he said, "Don't touch it. That's set right. I haven't touched the drag. It's the same drag as, that fish. You saw how it tied in. We got it in." James was saying, in the video, in the Whiffy video, you'll see he was basically trying to calm me down, because for some reason it just didn't register in my head. I knew it was a tuna. It was going to keep running, but it surely had to tie it, but I felt like it wasn't, and I needed to turn it up. It didn't slow down. It got me in the end. You could see in the video, I was just holding on to it, and it just kept running and running and running and running. At no point did a shark take it, because the fight never changed. I saw it on the surface. It went down. You could feel the tuna kicks and whatever, and it just kept going. A few brief pauses, and it just kept going. Every time it just kept going, it just took more and more line, and eventually it either rubbed me off, or I think it rubbed me off on a ledge or something. But so much line was out, and yeah, heartbroken. So that's the story of that. So James, yes, if they do come in, I have a score to settle. All right, here we go. Let's keep going. All right, look. Oh, it looks like we got a... Let me just put this up. So Moonman Fishing has put down a super sticker. Thank you very much, mate. I appreciate that. Thanks for your support for the channel. You are the very first person to donate through the super chat system. So yeah, that's your accolade there. You're the very first on the Shroom Fishing channel. Thank you very much, mate. It really means a lot. Even if it's only just $3.99, that means everything. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Moonman Fishing. All right, let's get back to where I was. I just got sidetracked again, guys. I get sidetracked with these stories all the time. I get sidetracked, especially when I lose a fish. You'll see on my channel, I actually like watching. I don't know why. I really like watching my own videos where I get smoked and put in my place. It just, like, the one where I've been smoked by a kingfish on Brimby, I've watched that 50,000 billion times. I don't know. It just feels good to just know that there's a really powerful, creature, force out there that, that gets the heart pumping. As I always say in the video, when I feel my heart going up, that's the feeling I'm seeking when I go fishing. And what else? There was another video where I got smoked by something in the Cooks River. Some people said it was like a big flatty or a Jew or something. And there was an old lady walking by that was commenting on it as well. And I lost it as I was turning around just to address her. I've watched that video about 50,000 times as well. All right, here we go. So I think I've lost my place in the chat here. Let me just, I might be inadvertently skipping some questions, guys. So put them back in the chat. If you want it answered. Okay, so Michael, you're the mod. Yes, Michael. Yes, where's Michael? He's the mod here. So Michael Germain is the mod. So we have a responsible adult here that can deal with this stuff. Okay, let's keep going down the chat. All right, so Mitchell. Okay, hang on. What's going on here? All right, guys, we're back in. So Keegan Raymer says, "What bait do you use to catch Australian salmon?" I've caught a few off the beach on pilchard cubes, so that's what I could recommend. They do take pilchards. I like cubing. I like cutting up a little cube, putting on a hook, tossing it out the back. All right, let's keep going down. What do you think of Lavender Bay Wharf? Hang on, which one's that one? I think that one's on the north side. I think the north side east of the Harbour Bridge. I think, or no, I think it's the first bay east of it. I haven't actually put time into that spot, but I think there's a few people here. I think I think there's a few people in the chat that have put time in and made some videos. In fact, all right, let's keep going down. So, all right, yeah. So James Claims answered that question for me. All right, that's good. Excellent. Okay, raise the Shroom. You look like a sheep. Maybe I do. Okay, all right. Thank you very much for that comment. All right, he's on the computer. All right, he's on the job. Okay, he's on the job. 8:53. Okay, so it's already 9. Okay, so that was 13 minutes ago. Shroom, please ban and mute Ray because I've seen multiple chats ruining it. Yes, let me whip out that ban hammer. If I see him again, we're going down. We're going down hard. All right. Okay, so now the reason why I'm not catching it is because I'm on like another platform here. I'm on StreamYard, so I'm trying to keep up with the questions, but the chat's live, so I'm not right at the forefront of all the messages. Okay, now if I check on my other screen, yeah, it is. Okay, so, all right. Yeah, that looks all right. Okay, let me just keep going down. All right, so sorry about the interruptions, guys. Okay, so what's all this? Lavender Bay is great. Sewage drain at the back there after heavy rain. So this is what Moonman's saying about Lavender Bay. He's saying it's good. There's a drain. There's heavy rain. There's bait at the back. Yeah, I guess drains are always a good thing. I really like it, especially upriver. If it's just you and your luck, if the predators are chasing, yeah. All right, okay. Not much more for me to add there. Shroom sound like a star. Okay, here we go. All right, there's that chat. Okay, so I think I'm up to the chat now. No distortion, very smooth like Frank Sinatra. I love that comment, James. You become that's the comment of the live stream. I love Frank Sinatra. If I was any good at singing, guys, this would be called Shroom Crooning channel or singing channel. But I'm not good, so you guys don't have to worry about that. Yes, James Kay says, Moe, what a beast. Yes, he is. Thank you very much for the donation once again. Let's see. Let's keep going down. Rainbow trout, coral trout. Yeah, so obviously I said rainbow trout. So you don't get rainbow trout in the middle of the wait, hang on, what's going on here? So yeah, you don't get rainbow trout in the salt, as far as I know. Wait, do you get them in the salt if they go out to spawn down the streams? Well, I guess there's a bit for me to learn there. But coral trout, that's the one. Coral trout, fantastic eating. Just the northern species. I think you can get them here, but it's like a very rare chance of catching it. I think some people have caught them in Botany Bay. In fact, I think like when the big ships come in and they get carried in the ballast or something, the fry, and then they end up in the waters here and they grow up. I think so along those lines. But yeah, don't quote me on that. But I think that's how they get here, or possibly the East Australian current pushing down the warm waters. All right. Oh no! How long was I doing that for? 4 minutes. Jeez, I think I was doing that for 4 minutes. All right, one of my screens turned off. That's no good. All right, hang on. Let me just make sure everything's in place. 10 minutes. Jeez, 10 minutes. It's been deaf for like 10 minutes. So, oh, jeez. Guys, you missed it. I was singing My Way by Frank Sinatra. But unfortunately, you guys won't have caught that. All right, here we go. We're back. All right, so I got a few viewers that like to watch these videos in the car. So they're probably going to think something's happened when they do watch this tomorrow or the day after when they're going along their long drive. So yeah, just fast forward 10. I guess you can't do that in retrospect. Okay, here we go. I've got the chat like right at the front, but I've been following the chat right at the back. Otherwise, I won't be able to read the questions. So that's the problem there. So let me just see if I can, guys. This is like the fourth live stream of this Q&A style live chat. So I'm slowly figuring things out. So that'd be the only consolidation that I could give right now, that I'm slowly figuring things out. So we got some mods now that should limit the spam from Razer, because it seems to be just that one guy. Now I'm gonna do split screen on my main screen so that I can keep up with the messages. Yeah, okay, all right. So there we go. Okay, so no audio. All right, let me go find out where I was. Okay, so I texted him on Instagram and no answer. Yeah, so that's how you know I'm live Z, because I'm just paying attention to you guys right here on the channel. I basically left one story on Instagram shortly before I came online tonight. Haven't been able to check. I put all my notifications on no notifications or silent on my phone and my computer, so I'm not getting ridiculous pop-ups every couple minutes, because you get too many like through the videos. If someone types a message, it'll just block my screen if I get a few messages like that. And on my phone, it's gonna start beeping. All right, back to fishing chat, guys. Flick of me, he's wasting his breath. I feel bad. Don't feel bad. It's all right. 10 minutes. Hang on, that's all right. Okay, so okay, here we go. All right, let's get back on track. So yeah, hopefully that made your night. All right, yeah, so it seems like a few people send. Okay, so I'm expecting when I go on Instagram, it's got to be like 20 messages. All right, here we go. RIP, yep, that's right. Someone do a commentary. Flip Flop says, okay. Okay, now what the messages of, okay, here we go. He's talking about the 40 brim 100%. All right, okay, here we go. All right, Carol Baskin, guess what I'm wearing? The smile you gave. What? Okay, all right, let's just skip that one. I guess you're wearing cotton. Okay, now here we go. I think he's saying 3-meter flatty. Yeah. Got a few messages on TikTok about catching a 3-meter flatty today. All right, here we go. All right, so, geez, I've been offline for a lot. There's about 50,000 billion messages here. Okay, let me just get down to the bottom. Guys, put your questions back in, because we're going back to answering questions the second I get back to where we are in the chat. Hope you guys are enjoying the show. Shroom, have you fished 5 Dock? If so, may you tell us your experience there and what you caught. I love 5 Dock. I've got several videos of that place. Can't tell you which ones. Go check them out. Plenty of brim, flathead, whiting. I think you can get kingfish there and salmon. I haven't caught that yet. I've only caught those 3 plus Taylor. All right, so that should answer your questions sufficiently. Daniel says favorite spots in Sydney. Like, I have lots of favorite spots in Sydney. If I did have one spot, you'd see all my videos in the one spot. But because I fish everywhere, I learn how spots fish. And depending on the season, it's like you fall in love with a spot and you fall out of love with particular spots. Some spots fish well for a couple of years and then they go dead, and then they come back 5 years later. That's actually happened to a few spots where I've thought, nah, it's dead. Too many people are fishing it. Not worth coming here. Come back 5 years later, fishing it every year, fishing it a couple of times and just not catching anything. And suddenly it's back to the way it was. It's crazy. I think not such thing as a favorite spot. I like fishing all over Sydney. Moonman says Shroom had the same problem with J-braid, just insta snout. Yeah, that's right. So, I mean, this is the old J-braid, by the way. I've seen the new stuff, the J-braid Grand, with that Ryu, that Ryu guy out the front, ready to kick butt. That braid's all right. That braid's pretty good. They're getting better and better. The J-braid's getting better and better. And for the price point, you can't, you can't really expect it to perform like an $80 braid, for example. Okay. Flick with Mix Fishing says, good night, fellas. Yeah, see you later, Mick. Thanks for supporting. Thanks for the super chat. we'll definitely talk soon. We'll definitely, we'll definitely hit it up at some stage. Everyone, of course, we'll definitely hit it up. Shroom. Oh, okay, hang on. I've just answered this one. Daniel Boy says, "Can you sing again?" Yes, when the mic's off. When the mic's not hot. Is Sydney your favorite spot to fish in Australia? Well, I can't really say. I haven't fished all over Australia. I've only really fished, besides from Sydney, I've only really fished Weipa. So I'm not like, I'm not somebody that's fished all over Australia, unfortunately. It's something that I think most people here in this chat would like to do. I think there's so many places in Australia that if you just were able to live there or fish there for an extended period of time, you could really enjoy the place for what it's about. Weipa is just one of those very popular destinations that fishermen go to, but there's so many places that up and down the coast in Sydney, for example, or anywhere else around Australia that don't get mentioned nearly as often, that would make great fishing destinations. Flip-flop, fresh dead squid or versus live yakka. Depends what you're going for. I'm assuming kingfish. Kingfish, I'd go for live yakka. Jewfish, I'd use the fresh dead squid. Yeah, it depends if there's pickers. If there's no pickers, I think dead fresh squid's also very, very good for kingfish. Sometimes better. It depends what they want on the day, really. You can't really say. I'd say squid's generally harder to get, so I generally like having a squid in the hand versus a yakka. Yakka seems to be, the live bait when you can't get squid. It does limit your chance of catching something, I would say, but if you do get a hit on a yakka, generally it's a better kingfish. Inshore anyway. Inshore squid's better, I'd say. Offshore yakkas. Plus also keeping them alive is a problem. If you're land-based, I guess unless you're putting the squid right in the water, they die quickly. One cast, you probably have to slowly lob it in. If you do a full belt, get it about 5-10 meters up above the water level and then it slaps on the water, that squid's dead. Kid Fisher, another vid from the Brim Creek soon. Maybe not too soon, but yeah, eventually. I know the spot you're talking about. Adam Sankari, love how you don't say your spots. Yeah, I mean, I think it's best for everyone. I think it's just best for everyone. I can just imagine if I put up a video of this and that. Let's just say someone showed me that spot, then they're not likely to want to fish with me again, right? If I keep naming spots, people understand that every spot everyone knows about, but it's whether you put localized immediate attention on that spot. And that's the only issue, really. Just trying to respect people's spots and people that I don't know as well. Let's say that I end up at somebody's particular spot X, and then I bring in all these people. I don't know the person, but then again, I don't want to be doing that either. So I think that the best thing to do is to, it's there if you guys want to work it out. There's enough information in the videos, but I can't personally. I'd feel better if I don't just name the spot. Particularly if a video gets at least 1,000 views every time I put it up. That's up to 1,000 people that might potentially visit that spot on the Saturday or Sunday. All right. Okay, here we go. So I've now lost it again. But okay, so yeah, I got to keep checking, just make sure that my sound's still good. All right, here we go. So Eddie M, how Shroom when fishing potentially rocky, snaggy areas with soft plastics? Do you adjust your retrieve technique at all to account for this? Sorry, you probably already answered when audio was down. Okay, so I'll answer this one again. I didn't answer this one anyway, but I think I might have answered something similar. I do adjust my retrieve and technique if I know where the snag is. You can keep it higher in the water column till you're over the snag. So on the first cast, if you know the snag is, say, 5 meters out, you can cast beyond it, work it along the bottom. But when you get close, then you can hop over the snag with, with a bit of leeway. So I won't get all the way in. I won't get all the way into where I think the snag is. I might start several meters earlier, just slow roll it across the top and then drop it a few meters after it. And then if I'm going to repeat that cast, I might push the boundary. Generally what happens is I push it. I do a safe cast. Whether I get hit or I don't, I start pushing it. I start getting closer and closer until I think I'm about to snag. Then I'll just probably move on from that time, knowing that there probably wasn't anything there unless I really want to retie, another leader knot or something. If I get unlucky and it pops that. Okay, Moonman Fishing. Hey Shroom, what artificial would you use if you're targeting jelly prawn bust ups? I know they are hard to match. I was thinking the 1.8-inch plankton aging soft plastics. I haven't tried those small, very specialized plastics that I have seen in some of the, some of the Japanese fishermen. They use that. I basically. Yeah, I think I actually haven't tried to match it. There's only one lure that I have tried to match it with, and that is with the Berkeley Power Bait in Kaz Clear, the 3-inch flick bait. That one, I start off with the full size, and then I slowly cut it up. Now it's a bit hard to use because they don't have action once you start cutting it down too much. They look too small, but they do elicit the bite sometimes because you get to the right size. I find that when they're hitting the jelly prawns, they're also willing to hit almost any plastic around that size, regardless of color, if they're busting up on the jelly prawns and you throw it in front of them. So salmon and kingfish, when you see that happen, you'll see, actually, I think I might have a few videos, at least one video where I'm up close where it's busting up and I throw it right in there and I hook up, I think, second or third try when they're busting up. So, yeah, but in terms of an imitation, the Kaz Clears from Berkeley, the Power Bait Kaz Clear flick baits, they're 3-inch. They're a bit long, but you can cut them, and they're transparent. So I think that's a great imitation if you wanted to do that. Okay, here we go. The main creek for Kid Fisher says the main creek for Bream Flathead, which was closed, is open now. Shroom, it's fishable now. Yeah, I might check it out at some stage. All right, so. All right, so I answered that question from Z. Okay, let me just check on the latest messages. Okay, so everything's still good. Now I'm paranoid, guys. Every couple message, I'm checking the latest news on the tube. Okay. Oh, 117. Okay, all right, here we go. Z Fitness. Because I usually fish at Newcastle, so tide never mattered. Tide never mattered to me in Sydney. It's completely different. Yeah, I haven't really done. I don't think I fished Newcastle. So, I think I might have to go up there. I have thought about Newcastle Harbour chasing Jews on hard bodies. I have read some people do that, and also what is it? Hairtail during hairtail season up in Newcastle. Maybe one day I'll be there for those, for those particular targets. Moonman says, haha, yeah, okay, that's James Klein. Pickers execute a live squid. But yes, live yakkers are the gun bait because they are easily accessible and are likely to get hit if you get one in front of a predator. Yeah, I find like the live squid can get picked apart if they're too low in the water column. The leather jackets just get to them. You can see it when you're on the downrigger, you're checking the sounder, and you see this cloud, and then suddenly 5 seconds later you see all these little nibbles on the rod tip, and it's a heavy rod for kingfish, so they're literally ripping the flesh off the squid down there. There's probably like 50,000 of them little leather jackets doing that. All right, here we go. Let's keep going. Yeah, see you later, Chopper Dog. Okay, let's keep going down here. Su Hyun Han. When flicking plastics, when's the best time to set the hook? Do you set the hook as soon as you feel a tap, or do you give it a second or so before striking? I find like this is like something that you learn from experience. I think it also depends on the species. If it's like, all right, first of all, if it's a jewfish, the lightest tap, I'm striking as though I'm trying to rip that hook off the face of the planet. Like seriously, the lightest tap. But when it comes to bream fishing, for example, it depends on the type of hit that I'm getting. Sometimes if it's like on slack line and I feel like a solid thump, it's solid because you can feel it through the slack line, not because it's like a really sharp like a sharp feeling because it's taut against the lure. So when it's taut against the lure, I don't think it's hooked up. But when it's slack and you feel that, that's when you set the hook. You one firm strike and you're onto a brim. And it's if you don't hook it like right on the sinewy, like the little thin part of the lip, you won't pull the hook. You can almost go as hard as you can with the brim. Their mouths, they're not that big. The lure doesn't really get its way out of there. If you're feeling like a lot of little like a machine gun kind of like, that's the best way to describe it. It's like a machine gun style hit, like that's like a tailor hit or like a little fish, little flatty hit. And most of the time I find that when I strike during that period, I won't be setting hook on anything and it hasn't actually grabbed it completely. Yeah, good question. Eddie M, are surface lures such as sugar pens effective during winter? I generally don't do surface fishing in the winter. As a general rule, the warmer the weather is, the more likely you are to be using surface lures. You know, that's just a general case. It doesn't mean that you can't catch anything on surface in the winter. I'm sure that if you find EPs at night schooled up and you see them cracking the surface of the water and you throw a surface lure, you might hook a few that way. Or kingfish early morning, or salmon will still hit surface lures right now. Bass, still hitting surface lures. You could still probably catch them on cicadas. I know it's cold. I know it seems unlikely, but you'd still get them on surface lures at this stage, depending where you fish for them, of course. Vaz 1984, do a show us your lures video or just your gear in general. I've been avoiding that, but if I do that, which I will at some stage, I think I won't get that video to take up a Thursday night video slot. I might just have an additional video during the week. That way you get your fishing fix and you get, a little bit of a different view of fishing from my channel as well. So I think I might do that. And if it is, it's going to be a treat because it's going to be additional content that won't replace my Thursday regular fishing upload. All right. Okay. So StreamYard's just buzzed me off the screen. That's weird. Okay. So here we go. Back. All right. So I'm back quickly. Shroom, I have a challenge for you. All right. I like challenges. See if you can catch a fish with a jelly snake. Make for good content. I did think about that. I will be doing that at some stage. And yeah, I think I could do it. I think I could get a fish on a redskin. No, I think I would be able to get a fish on like an Allen's snake, or what is it? The Natural Confectionery Company jelly snakes or whatever they are. So yeah, I might be doing that at some stage. Might get somebody to do that with me. That would make for entertaining viewing. Thanks for that idea, Michael. Appreciate it. Flip flop, what's your next target species? Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure at this stage. I was thinking about a few ideas. I was thinking about Jews on hard bodies or blackfish or Luderick. Yeah, Luderick in the winter. But yeah, we'll have to see. I don't know yet. I'm not too sure yet. One of them is probably going to make me age about 10 years because I did put in significant time several years ago doing there we go. There we go. I've caught it. Now, why is that doing that? That's weird. All right, here we go. So that's weird. It's wrecking my stream. So how long was that? Okay, so I was watching. See, I promised you guys that I was actually watching, wasn't I? I was watching. So it couldn't have been too long. Could not have been too long before I caught that. Okay, now if you want to catch a kingfish, Abdul, you're going to have to... Well, first of all, you're probably talking about catching it in any method possible. Learn to catch squid or learn to catch yakkers. And you can catch them pretty much at any wharf. At any wharf, generally in the low light hours at night, for example. Lit wharves, you can't miss catching a yakker. You might have to do it before the sun comes up. So if you catch kingfish, fish early morning, catch, I don't know, maybe wake up like 3 a.m. or something. I don't know what time the sun's rising right now. Give yourself a good couple hours, I'd say. You want to have some live bait before that sun pops up. Get your live bait, squid, yakkers, whatever. Learn a rig or two, depending on the spot. Sometimes you can just put like a 5.0 hook onto the, just straight to your combo, a hook to your combo, and just put the yakka hook through the top. You could do that. You could do that with a squid as well. Like, it can be that simple at some spots. If the water beneath you is fine and you're not going to get dusted immediately, and you think you can chance your hand with that, just do that. And then it's just a matter of putting in time. And I don't think it'll be long if you choose like a harbor wharf that has been seeing consistent action. The more easterly located that wharf is, I'd say the more likely you're going to find success. Now, if you want to go do it at a place like Pier 2 or Pier 8, that's like everyone catches it there. You can go there and see how they do it. You'll be watching people catch it in front of you, and you can learn how they fight the fish and land the fish there, because there's plenty of kings there. Landing it is a problem though. Landing it, because you're so high up, and the fight's not nice if they run in amongst all the pylons. All right, good. So I gotta have to figure out why the sound is going off sometimes, but at least it should be very smooth and clear tonight. All right, how's it going here? So, all right, guys, I'm going to be on for another 3 minutes, so get your questions in. So, an hour and a half stream. This is a bit longer than I expected, but guys, hope you guys are enjoying the show. All right, what's this? Heard of the Esplanade Drummoyne? Yes, I have. Says Cass, Eddie M. I have been trying an atomic hards crank recently, but struggle to get the same casting distance as a soft plastic on a 1/8 ounce. Is this just because it's a lot lighter? Usually use my 2-4 7'6" Raider. All right, so you're using a longer rod there than what I normally use. You're losing distance, so you're comparing it with a 1/8 ounce, which does cast extremely far. You're using an atomic hards crank. Cranks generally don't cast as far as soft plastics. They do weigh similar weights to the plastic though, in like as a total, I think it is, but not with a 1/8 ounce jig head. So 1/8 ounce is, what is that? That's like 3.5 grams, I think. Say the plastic is a couple of grams, you're talking about 5.5 grams, 5 to 6 gram at the end of your line. Now, if you're using an atomic hards, I think they're about 5 grams, but that weight is not distributed as well as a plastic, which is on the head. So when you cast it, it cuts through the air because the weight is on the end. Also, the atomic hards, it depends also on the depth that it dives. A deeper diving atomic hard body, that one has a bigger bib, and that actually blocks the air. It's not very aerodynamic. So that is something you have to weigh up. So people don't weigh that up sometimes. If you're using a deeper diving hard body, yeah, it sounds better in theory. You get down deeper and all that. But guess what? Over a shallow diver, you're losing 5 meters. That 5 meters is that time it might take you to even get down to the strike zone. You're not getting down to the strike zone even though you're going deeper, because you never reach it. And if you do reach it, it's close to your feet. So I'd say it's a part of it. The atomic hards, or any crankbait, especially if it's got a big bib, is not going to cast as well as a plastic, especially on a 1/8 ounce jig head. If you're comparing with a 132 or a 116, I'd say the plastic still outdoes it, unless you've got a really shallow diver. What else can I say about this? Because I do think a lot about this as well. So yeah, I guess with a hard body, you don't really want to cut down too much on the poundage of your leader as well, because hard bodies do cost a bit. So you can't really go below, say, 4 pound to get more distance. You could, however, get smoother braid. That's something that is within your control. So you could go down to a 0.5 PE for braid. Generally, you're not able to lock up nearly as much on trebles as you are on a single anyway. You're going to bend the hook, or the fish is going to like mangle it. So you're not going to be able to fish the breaking strain of your braid in most cases. So you could go lighter and could go smoother. That would definitely help. With a 7'6", I know the Raiders aren't the lightest rods out there, but it's a good
entry level lure rod, it's still out. So that tells you something. They're still selling it. Yeah. So I'd say that's something that you could do. But yeah, that should answer your question though. So it's not a lot lighter, unless it is a bit lighter than the 1/8, but not a lot lighter. It is less aerodynamic. The bib blocks the air as you cast it. It doesn't, cast as well. The plastic is just more aerodynamic. The lead head just cuts through, and the lure just traces behind it. It doesn't tumble through the air as much as a hard body. There's also like long casting versions of some hard bodies. I think what is it? What brand was that one? Not Lucky Craft. It's a very popular brand, Japanese brand that makes a deep diving crankbait. Eco Gear, yeah, Eco Gear make an LC version of their bait casters, and that's so that when you cast it, I think the weight just moves to the front. So a lot of hard bodies do have that bit inside that does move around. I think most of the time it's just like a rattle. It's not fully designed to do that, but some hard bodies have a long cast version, and they do that. Another hard body would be now a different style, but the Daiwa double clutches. So most people have seen and felt those lures, maybe not the Eco Gear ones. And when you tilt it, you can hear that clicking noise. That's that weight moving around. So I'd say in general, hard bodies in general don't cast as well as plastics for those reasons that I've just talked about. James claimed P8 kingies go harder than New Zealand kingies. I have heard of that. I've heard of that the kingies in Australia go harder than New Zealand. Those ones are big and fat though, so they have an excuse. 30, 40 kegs and plus. These ones are all slimmed down in Sydney. Slim kingies, they run hard, fight hard. All right, okay, so looks like I've gone over time, guys. So that's it. That's going to be it from me tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Again, thanks for your support. I'm Shroom. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Like the video. Keep watching my content. I appreciate it. I know a lot of you guys already do, and I'm very thankful for that. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook. I also have TikTok. I also got that membership program, and thanks for the super chats today, guys. I really appreciate it. Thanks for your support as always, and I'll catch you in the very next Thursday's fishing video. Good night, guys.